And don't forget that word, karate! Joining us on the line right now is Scott Campsall. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Karate. I just like to say it.
This is like that Seinfeld episode where they talk about salsa. It's number one condiment because everybody likes to say it.
Salsa, yes. Well, see, karate is kind of the salsa of exercise.
Oh. That's a bit of a stretch.
The
but okay.
martial arts dance. There you go. Yeah, I think I may have pulled a hamstring on that one.
Maybe that's what we got to do just to keep you on your toes. Is we'll start offering salsa dancing. I'll have to go see if I can find a fitness instructor that'll teach that.
Well, there are so many different forms of martial arts out there now. Why don't you develop your own involving salsa and like a karate or something like that?
I think that's beyond my expertise.
Yeah, you're liable to pull something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, listen, congratulations. I guess, is it every year you go for a checkup and everything was clear? For those who don't know, you had a battle with cancer, and I guess you always have a battle with cancer because it was in your body at one time, right?
Well, yeah, 13 years ago. So originally I had stomach cramps, and nobody was listening to me. So I kept on going to doctors, and they said, "Oh, you have irritable bowel syndrome." And now, keep in mind, I was like 33 then, so I wasn't really of the age where people were looking at me for colon cancer. But it was a constant occurrence. And then it was just one day I finally gave in and went to a different walk-in clinic, and the doctor there, actually it was Dr. Simpson, he's in town, and he just said, "Yeah," he says, "your stomach cramp story is bugging me. I'm gonna send you for an ultrasound." And that's where they found it. So, and then it just sort of spiraled from there. It was surgery to have it removed, and then 6 months of chemo because there was 58 lymph nodes. And Dr. Ng, he's my surgeon, and he took the 58 out. He says, "Well, you didn't need them." And he's a really aggressive doctor, and I like that. It sort of goes along with what I do. So, but he just said, "Yeah, 1 out of 58 had it." So he said the size of the tumor, and considering where the lymph node was, and everything, he says, "I got to put you on chemo, and you're young enough." So from there, we started with every year for colonoscopies, and then and it's one of those you sort of monitor. If there's a polyp, then it's okay. We better step up the exams, and if there isn't anything, which the last couple there hasn't been anything, so he's backed off to every 2 years now. And originally it was supposed to be 2 years, and then COVID hit, so it was sort of 2.5 years on this one. But
well, what's it like mentally knowing that that's coming up and knowing the battle that you had 13 years ago?
Honestly, the prep is awful. Again, aggressive doctor. So he puts me on a 2-day prep where a lot of people have a 1-day prep where they don't eat for a day. I'm 2 days, and I already know that I'm on a magnesium citrate fluid to clean me out, so to speak. So it's and I've got to do 2 bottles of that, eat like 1 bottle each day, and that stuff's awful. And if there's anybody listening that can fix that and change the flavor of that, then that would be awesome. But yeah, and that to me, that's the worst part. It's not even the like fasting and all that. It's the drinking of that stuff. So where we were talking about, that guys like to keep this stuff a secret and go through it all as a private thing. And to me, it's not even the camera and all that stuff and dealing with the procedure and all that. It's just, if I was going to pick the thing I hate the most about it, that's it. I'm hesitant to go and book the appointment because I know I got to drink that stuff.
Now, when you said that you had stomach cramps and that you were looking for some answers to that, what kind of stomach cramps? And the reason I ask is, there's a lot of stress in a lot of people's lives. And a lot of times stress manifests itself through cramps and those kinds of things. What was different that you felt?
Well, and that's a good question because with me, I literally in a ball on the floor. There was one point in the middle of the night I rolled out of bed. It just I couldn't even take it. So talking to doctors while we were going through this, and they were saying, well, no, irritable bowel syndrome wouldn't put you down like that. But at that point, all I was saying was I'm having stomach cramps. It really hurts. And so you're right. There's different types. But even talking about your brother, though, you're saying that he had to go through this and he didn't get cramps. So to me, where we talk about like one of the reasons why I came up with this idea, as far as even talking to you about this on the air, was Chadwick Boseman just died a couple weeks ago. He had stage 3 colon cancer for years, and nobody knew. He didn't tell anybody, and then he dies with complications from stage 4, and so, like, again, all these people are keeping it a secret, and they're not talking about it. And to me, I understand it. I get the procedures, sort of embarrassing, I guess, to some degree. I'm used to it now. 13 years, at 10 years, I gave my doctor a little thank you card, a happy anniversary card, and an LCBO gift card. I just said, if anybody's going to be that intimate with me, they need some wine.
Yeah, usually before, but.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and it is serious. It's something, and I know that there's this uncomfort level for people to talk about it, but it's important, and both for men and for women, for colonoscopies.
Yeah, it's such a silent thing. So with me, I was lucky, I guess, for, if you can call it that I had cramps, put me down, and it was 2 years of it though. And doctors just weren't paying attention, and I think that's sort of disturbing too. Is like my oncologist, when I first met him, and he just said, he said, to be honest, he says, a 33-year-old kid comes to me. He was older than me, obviously, and he's a 33-year-old guy comes to me with stomach cramps. He says, I don't think, he's got colon cancer. And he says, and I'm in the business. I should be thinking that. And my only question to him was, hey, if my arm hurts really badly, would you not give me an X-ray, just to make sure that things are okay? And I said, I had stomach cramps. Why wouldn't you give me an ultrasound? And I think sometimes just with the way our medical system is, you got to sort of be stubborn and speak up for yourself.
Now, do you think that has changed since you were first diagnosed? Because we do tend to talk a little bit more about our own health.
I think it has changed, but I think a lot of it is the way that medicine has progressed too, and the fact you've also got younger doctors that are a little bit more aggressive. I think Dr. Jen Wilson's amazing, and Carly Jensen, obviously incredible. You're looking at a different breed of doctor that is really community minded, and they're working incredible amounts of hours, and they're still willing to put in more effort.
Looking back now and where you are today, and this is Wellness Wednesday, and the goal of this whole segment is, somebody may glean one little gem out of one of the interviews here, and maybe it helps keep them healthy. People walking away listening today, is there something that you could say that might help them stay healthy, or is it just something as simple as get a colonoscopy on a regular basis?
I think don't ignore it. Whatever, if you got little pains or aches or whatever, sometimes it's aging, you got to be honest. But there's also a point where, if you, going to your doctor and asking them for a checkup isn't, staying on top of that stuff. I think that's really important. And, I remember reading a meme one time, is if you don't make time for health, then you better make time for death. If it's such an inconvenience to go to the doctor, imagine how inconvenient it's going to be when you get told that you ignored that thing and you just didn't do anything about it, and now look at you.
Well, and it's interesting because we just got a message on our Facebook page. Let me just call it up here, and James Drake was saying that everyone should get a colonoscopy. He said that his dad died of cancer and would have been saved had he had the regular colonoscopies. And because of that, he said even at the age of 30, he started getting them. And we were talking on the phone before, and we were talking about my brother has had cancer. He was diagnosed very early, had not gone in for a colonoscopy, had gone in for the gastro, and said, while I'm here, you're knocking me out anyway. Would you do it? Sure. And it turned out they found something. And right away, and we're talking about our healthcare system, right away, they had me booked for a colonoscopy because it was a relative, and boom, and it was a relief in having it done, because you don't know as a family member, and when it's in the family, you have to be careful. And we were talking before as well, just to let people in on some of the conversation we had before we opened the mics. You were saying that it was in your family, and it was that tough thing out, and you didn't find out until later as well. So maybe you would have gone in earlier. Yeah.
Well, it would have tipped us off more. Again, my iron count was low. I was having stomach cramps. So if you can go back in your family history and know, like for me, it was my grandfather, but that didn't come out until later. And because back then you were really tough. You didn't talk about weakness. You didn't talk about, and I think that's part of the facade of all this, is that for some reason we have this idea that it's a weakness to go get tested to be healthy, or it's a weakness to go to the doctor, or and I think even when we're looking at COVID now and we're saying, hey, if you've got flu-like symptoms, if you've got even a sniffle, don't go places, but this was only 6 to 7 months ago. Where no, tough it out. Like if you're sick, you still go to work, you still go to school, you still come on, you can walk it off. Isn't that the you're saying you get an injury, but I think it's, again, I'll agree with Jake, or James. I think for sure. Colonoscopies, breast cancer, like all those exams are out there for a reason, and I think it's important that we jump on that.
So how are you feeling today?
Good. You know what? And if you want incentive, I've got a almost 17-year-old guy, and he was 3 when I got diagnosed, and I've been able to watch his graduations. I've been able to watch, you got his black belt in karate. I've said right from the beginning, he was one of the strongest reasons why I kept on fighting what I was fighting with the chemo, and why I do the colonoscopies and everything. And today he's going back to school, sort of. So yeah, it's a good life.
Yeah, and just to follow up again, James just dropped a note to say 10-minute conversation with your doctor can be the difference in meeting your grandkids or not. Just to follow up on that.
And with me, I got to meet a really amazing wife, too. So I got some major pluses.
There you go.
And I get to go on the air with you. So there
well, yeah, we'll put that one on the bottom of the list, but that's okay. It's well understood, believe me, from me. No, listen, and we are so happy to be able to do this segment. And for those who don't know, Scott came to us. We had talked about doing something before, and Scott said, it's a great idea. We've got so many different practitioners, and we're going to continue with Wellness Wednesday right through, at least it looks like into the new year. And we're hoping that some message out there does get to people, and that message today would be, as James said too, talk to your doctor. 10-minute conversation. Book a colonoscopy. There is nothing wrong with it, and it may save your life. And we are so glad that they managed to get it for you, Scott, and you're able to join us on a regular basis.
Oh, me too. But it means something when somebody else says that, so that's good.
Well, listen, we will be talking again next week, unless that said wife kicks your butt. So
yeah, there you go.
Although someone's got to do it, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, she's usually first in line. So
yeah. Well, listen, and before we close off, obviously a serious subject, but we'll talk another serious subject, and that is your work at Okami Kai and how things continue to go with COVID. Any changes at all planned with the kids going back to school, or I mean, you guys had a pretty good routine going.
Yeah, actually, we altered our schedule a little bit this month, just because actually last month was a great time to start working through things. We were able to figure out what classes were more popular and what ones had some more space in them, and so we've evened things out. And last night was the first run of the new schedule, and it worked out really well. I think we've been able to easily do social distancing, and it's nice to just be back in person.
So if somebody is interested in joining, how can they contact you?
Website is good, okamikai.com, okamikai.com, or you can reach us by phone, 905-852-1521, or we're on Facebook, Instagram, you name it. We communicate, even if I don't say it well.
Well, stay well, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks very much, Dan.
Take care. Bye-bye.